The week leading up to the opening of the 2016 season for Marshall was a very difficult and emotional time. After the passing of former teammate and 2015 senior Emileigh Cooper, the Herd still had to get ready to play at the Trojan Invite in Troy, Alabama. A few schedule changes helped allow MUSB to attend the funeral and then make the long trek down to Troy for a Sunday doubleheader in what turned out to be a day to remember. Marshall first took on Alabama State and then the host school, Troy University. Herd junior pitcher Jordan Dixon started off strong with 3 strikeouts in the first 3 innings, keeping the game scoreless. Marshall's offense put some pressure on the Hornets in the third as senior Raquel Escareno led off with a single to right field. Freshman Summer Collins entered the game to run for the senior. 2 batters later, sophomore Jordan Cauliflower dropped a sacrifice bunt to move Collins into scoring position at second. Next, junior Morgan Zirkle recorded her second base hit of the game. Collins moved to third, and the Herd had runners in the corners. Zirkle then took off for second to register the team's first stolen base of the season. With 2 runners in scoring position, the opportunity was there, but the Herd was unable to cross the plate. In the top of the 4th, Alabama State recorded its first hit and put 2 runners on base and 2 outs. The Herd D ended the threat when the next batter grounded one in the infield that was scooped up by senior Catalin Lucas at third. In the top of the 7th, Alabama State looked to have a great start as the leadoff reached base on an error. Head coach Shonda Stanton called for time as she brought her infield together to discuss some strategy, as well as offering some words of encouragement to her team. The fighting spirit of the Herd was still intact as the Hornets attempted a bunt and popped into a double play. With 2 away, Alabama State showed it still had some fight left as the very next batter launched one deep over the fence and left to give the Hornets a 1-0 lead. Dixon came right back and induced a fly out to center that Zirkle made the easy catch to end the 7th. Things then looked grim for the Herd in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs and no one on base until a sophomore changed the game with 1 swing. Taylor McCord's solo home run to left tied the game at 1 and ensured the Herd a chance to fight for the win, whether right there in the 7th or in extra innings. The game did continue on to the 8th, where Alabama State moved to take advantage of the international tiebreaker rule. After a sac bunt, a base hit to left brought in the go-ahead run with 1 out. Catcher Taylor McCord then gunned out the runner, attempting to steal second, her first of many runners thrown out for the season. Then a grounder to sophomore shortstop Alicia D'Orazio ended any more chances for the Hornets and kept the game at a 1-run deficit for the Herd. Marshall also looked to move the runner quickly in the bottom of the 8th as Raquel Escareno dropped the sac bunt, moving freshman Abigail Estrada to third. With Estrada standing just 60 feet away from tying the game, sophomore Maddie Marshall laid down a bunt that she outran the throw to first and thus allowed Estrada to score the tying run. With the score tied at 2 and a runner at first, a freshman was sent to the plate as a pinch hitter. It was the first time Brianna Dice stepped to the plate in regular season collegiate action. Marshall had seen her power display in practice and in fall ball. Soon the freshman stepped into MUSB history. The emotions from the Herd dugout exploded as Dice became the first player in program history to begin a career with a walk-off home run. Marshall did not have much time to celebrate, however, as the team needed to immediately get ready to take on Troy. The Thundering Herd got rolling offensively right from the start. Zirkle led off with a single, then moved to scoring position 2 batters later as DeRazio singled to left. McCord then ripped a shot to center field that, after ducking, brought Zirkle home for the first run of the game. With Dice coming up, Jordan Cauliflower was entered at first base to run for McCord and instantly stole second to put 2 runners in scoring position. Dice then picked up right where she left off with a 2 RBI double to left center, giving Marshall a 3-0 lead in the first. Troy quickly fired back, scoring 3 runs of its own in the bottom of the first. The Herd scored 2 more runs in the third to take back the lead. DeRazio led off with her second hit of the game, then stole second with Dice at the plate. The freshman then got her first hit that stayed on the ground with a single to center that scored her old travel ball teammate DeRazio. 2 batters later, Escareno hit a grounder into center that allowed Dice to score, giving Marshall a 2-run lead at 5-3. Freshman Samantha Luce kept the inning going, recording her first career hit with a single to left center. In the bottom of the third, freshman pitcher Allie Burdett helped the Herd keep the lead, recording her first 2 career strikeouts. In the fourth inning, the Trojans threatened. After reaching first on a bunt, the bases were loaded and no outs. The Herd made a change in the circle, bringing in Jordan Dixon. The junior hurler made her presence known, striking out the first batter. Then a line out to short and finishing the inning with another K. Marshall held the lead. In the bottom of the 7th, Troy mounted a comeback. With 2 outs and a runner at first, Troy scored its first run of the inning from a RBI triple to right field. The Trojans tied the game and sent it to the 8th. Marshall had to try and find another extra inning magic moment. And that moment came right from the start. With the international tiebreaker rule once again in effect, Taylor McCord was placed at second, and there was no need to bunt her over with Dice at the plate. The freshman bomber continued her historic day, sending a line drive dart over the center field wall to give Marshall the lead at 7-5. The Herd defense stayed stout despite the runner starting in scoring position. A pop out to Lucas put one away. The next batter moved the runner 60 feet closer to home with a single to left. But then a popped up bunt right back to the circle, and then Dixon's 6th strikeout of the game finished the win. The Thundering Herd completed what had been a long and exhausting few days to begin the season. But 2 wins, and both coming in late innings, showed the perseverance and the fight of the 2016 Marshall softball team. And it also made for a much happier trip back to Huntington.